CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Brendan Purdy.
What we saw here is a rejection of Tim Cartmel.
Tonight on CTV News, election explainer breaking down a recount, missed ballots, a new mayor, and campaign spending. Good evening and thanks for joining us. After Edmonton elections held a recount for the council race in Sipawiniwak, preliminary results show that Tu Parmar is now leading with 30% of the vote. Before the recount, just 6 votes separated Better Edmonton candidate Daryl Friesen from Parmar, with Friesen in the lead. Parmar is now up by 627 votes. The city's elections department says the recount and ballot accounting process confirmed human error in recording of counted votes. The city says official results will be released by noon on Friday. Edmonton Elections is also counting ballots from 3 voting substations that it says weren't initially tallied. Edmonton Elections says it affects the city council counts in 3 different wards. Big money and political parties made Monday's election stand out from past votes. Andrew Knack won the mayor's race despite being outspent at least 5-1 by his main rival. Some observers say voters rejected party politics. And one analyst believes Better Edmonton's performance should be considered a success. CTV's Jeremy Thompson reports.
In his victory speech, Edmonton's new mayor-elect said voters sent a clear message on Election Day.
Everyday Edmontonians spoke loud and clear, choosing optimism and hope over big money and party politics.
Big money refers to Andrew Knack's main rival, Tim Cartmel. Preliminary disclosures show Knack raised just under $200,000 by Election Day, while Cartmel had collected $850,000 at the end of July. It means Knack spent about $2.60 per vote he received, compared to $14.45 per vote for Cartmel.
And I think what we saw here is a rejection of Tim Cartmel. I just think that no amount of money in the world was going to make people vote for him.
Newly re-elected councillor Michael Jans says parties came up frequently at the doors.
I heard from many neighbors one of the first questions they asked was, are you part of a party? And if the answer was yes, the door closed.
Political advisor Najib Jutt isn't so sure voters rejected party politics.
Well, I would argue from the viewpoint of Better Edmonton, this was a massive success for them.
While 9 people from the previous council will be returning to City Hall, including the mayor, 3 Better Edmonton candidates won. Better Edmonton also finished second in 5 council races, earning more than 50,000 votes. Returning councillor Karen Principe says that support carries a message.
It tells me that they liked our vision. I think people could relate and understand, and they could see that really Better Edmonton was looking to represent the people of Edmonton and make the city a better Edmonton.
Meanwhile, Jutt believes the results don't reflect poorly on parties. Instead, they demonstrate the power of incumbency, even for an apparently unpopular council. Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
The province wants to reimburse some Albertans for privately purchased diagnostic screening. The province says this option would deliver faster, more effective care, improve health outcomes, and reduce strain on the public health care system. Since 2023, CT scan waitlists grew by 44%, while MRI scan waitlists grew by nearly 41%. The province says the private tests will be reimbursed if it reveals a significant or critical condition. However, in a video posted to social media, the Premier says only life-threatening conditions will be covered. Critics feel this new plan may not align with the Canada Health Act and is a step towards an American-style healthcare system.
We're basically seeing them committing to legislating a 2-tiered access to healthcare in Alberta, into escalating privatization, and a system where those with more money get to skip the queue while everyone else is left waiting. And we've seen over and over from this government, they announce one of these privatization schemes. They claim it'll increase access and save money. They do it, and neither of those things comes true.
The province says it'll conduct stakeholder engagement on the proposal before legislation is introduced. The Alberta Medical Association says it's broken down the numbers, and the cost of deterring COVID-19 vaccinations will likely be in the tens of millions. It says even if 5% of Albertans decide not to get vaccinated, the resulting hospitalizations are projected to cost more than $65 million. CTV's Nicole Weisberg reports.
You have reached Primary Care Alberta.
Getting through to book a COVID-19 vaccination appointment has been a challenge for some Albertans. CTV News called 811 intermittently throughout the day today and was met by this.
We are currently experiencing a higher than expected call volume, and all staff members are busy. Please try calling back later or book online.
Medical professionals say barriers like this and the fact this year many have to pay out of pocket to get the shot will no doubt lead to less uptake.
Paying your rent, eating versus, getting a vaccine. I think people are going to choose, the things that they see right in front of them on a day-to-day basis.
The Alberta Medical Association says people foregoing vaccination comes at a significant cost to taxpayers for added hospital bills and the impacts of complications on the healthcare system.
We know that Albertans who are unvaccinated in previous years for COVID were 10 times more likely to be hospitalized, 20 times more likely to be hospitalized compared to people who had had a booster.
The AMA estimates if even 5% of Albertans, or about 250,000 people, aren't vaccinated, it would mean more than $65 million in spending on hospitalizations alone. At 10%, the costs rise to $131 million, and at 20%, $262 million. The numbers are based on a 15% infection risk, a plausible scenario, the AMA says, based on wastewater data from August 2024.
So if your goal is what the government is saying it is, to reduce wastage and support responsible spending, then what you do is you buy a vaccine for every Albertan who would qualify. And then you connect it with a robust communication plan.
The province says its approach is in line with guidance from the National Advisory Committee on Immunization, which suggests COVID-19 vaccination should be considered optional for healthy non-senior adults. And the committee cites analysis showing universal COVID vaccination would not be cost-effective at this point. Nicole Weisberg, CTV News, Edmonton.
The Alberta Teachers Association says if the province legislates teachers back to work, it'll consult with lawyers about its options. Premier Danielle Smith has said the union can expect the back-to-work legislation once the legislature resumes. One labor relations expert says the union has three choices when that happens: comply, work to rule, or defy the order. He adds that defying the order could come with legal consequences.
It'll depend somewhat on what is in the legislation, because the government will probably indicate some kind of penalties in the legislation, but it'll amount to fines to the union for sure. Probably tens of thousands a day. Probably is the kind of numbers we're talking about. And there is the possibility, although I think much less likely, there is the possibility that they may also fine individual union members.
The fall sitting begins tomorrow with a throne speech. That means a back-to-work order could come as early as next week. 3 decades after the suspicious disappearance of an Edmonton senior, investigators believe they're getting closer to finding her remains. It's believed her body was hidden in an old well north of the city. As CTV's Amanda Anderson reports, police need help to find her.
She was always a favorite aunt of ours.
An aunt who disappeared 35 years ago.
She was a nurse for many years, and she was a very caring, compassionate person. Always a very sweet lady, quite shy.
The last time anyone saw or heard from 83-year-old Ruth Clark was November 1st, 1990. Nearly 2 weeks later, police were called for a welfare check at the home she shared with her 42-year-old son in the area of 154th Street and 109th Avenue. It wasn't long before investigators suspected foul play in her disappearance and that she'd likely been murdered.
There was a suspect in the original investigation, and we do believe we know who killed Ruth. Unfortunately, because criminal charges have not been laid, we cannot release that name to the public.
Police now believe Clark's body was dumped quite a distance away from this neighborhood she once called home. They've been searching a large area about an hour north of St. Albert.
New information, which is compelling, led us to these searches.
Police won't say where the information came from, only that they believe Clark's body was hidden in an old well.
On a farmstead where trails lead through brush to two old hand-dug water wells. The wells are up to 50 to 60 feet deep, one lined with wood and the other lined with brick.
Police say the wells could be filled or covered with debris. They could also be partially collapsed.
Ruth's remains are believed to have been placed into the wood-lined well.
So far, investigators haven't been able to locate the right well, saying there's likely hundreds in the search area. It's why they're asking anyone with an old hand-dug well to contact them. Clark's son was not at the news conference, but for the family that was, finding her will not only bring closure, but allow them to give her a proper burial.
It is our family's hope that we can lay her to rest next to her husband, which is what she wanted.
Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
In an ongoing effort to prevent and end homelessness, Homeward Trust Edmonton held its 26th annual point-in-time count earlier today. The initiative measures the number of our city's most vulnerable. It's comprised of a street count, shelter and transitional housing numbers, plus data from other services and systems gathered over a 24-hour period. The count offers a snapshot reflecting the minimum number of people who are homeless in our city.
Those numbers really help us inform like policy, advocacy, all of those different pieces that we can really get a good picture, as well as it really supports what we're advocating for in the community.
Red Road's housing director says the current trends don't always reflect the future, and strategies must account for that. Edmonton Fire says they responded to 60 calls for reporting illegal fireworks last night as police urged the community to celebrate Diwali safely. 3 of the calls fire crews were sent to are described as significant grass fires. Last night's calls are in addition to the arson charges against 3 people for damage to a townhouse in Mill Woods on Monday night. Cassidy Moreno shot this following video of fireworks going off behind her home minutes before the fire started. She's urging people to follow the rules as are community leaders. Lighting fireworks is illegal within the city of Edmonton without a permit.
Please think of other people. This is not a controlled environment.
The law should be a little stricter, and people should be aware that if we don't follow the law, we're going to end up with this.
CTV News spoke to one of the 3 people charged with arson related to Monday's fire. He says fireworks weren't coming from his backyard. EPS is urging Edmontonians to celebrate Diwali safely, sending out a message in English, Hindu, Punjabi, translations. The second round of voting for Alberta's new driver's license plate is now live with just 4 plates left to choose from. Last week, the province introduced 8 options and asked Albertans to take part in a tournament-style online vote. The final 4 include Moraine Lake, an Alberta flag with mountains, the standard red on white, and a ranching cowboy and pump jack. Service Alberta Minister Dale Nally says 150,000 Albertans have voted thus far. While he's not surprised that the traditional red and white plate made it to this round, he is surprised that his favorite didn't.
I'm surprised Mount Loughy didn't make it into the Final 4. It was close, but yeah, it did not make the cut. Why not? You'd have to ask Albertans.
In addition to the new images, the plates feature a wild rose flower and the new slogan, Strong and Free. To vote, head to alberta.ca/pick-a-plate. The new design will be announced in mid-November. Edmonton's Southside Athletic Club honored the memory of one of its coaches last night. A moment of silence was held for head coach John Sexsmith ahead of his team's first game since his death last week. The longtime Edmonton sports broadcaster was also a well-known and accomplished youth hockey coach. Sexsmith died after a 13-year battle with prostate cancer. Edmonton Oilers rookie forward Ike Howard had a night to remember on Tuesday, scoring his first career goal.
And now another turnover, Draisaitl again to the net. One-timer score! Absolutely buried by
Howard was traded to the Oilers from Tampa Bay this summer following a strong collegiate hockey career. The Whale ended up picking up a 3-2 overtime win against the Senators in Ottawa. Just ahead, texted ticket trickery. We bring you the latest scam to hit Edmontonians. And so you're saying there's a chance we look at how the Jays stack up against the Dodgers in the World Series.
I'm currently estimating Toronto with a 52.46% chance of winning the World Series.
Good evening, folks. 15 degrees and a little gusty today. Should be even warmer, and the wind will die down tomorrow. By Friday, we're up close to 20. Then things take a turn over the weekend. Those details in just a few minutes.
Welcome back. All kinds of text scams are circulating across our country. Police say Canadians lose millions of dollars every year to scammers. As CTV's Merrick Takash has learned, a new scam is on the rise.
A traffic ticket is usually issued roadside or comes in the mail. But lately, people are getting fake tickets like these ones texted to them.
There's a couple people in the office actually here that has received that same or similar message with regards to a traffic violation.
Both of these messages are demanding payment for a ticket that doesn't exist. This one says the vehicle was traveling 56 kilometers an hour. A similar message says 64 kilometers an hour. Both were sent from different phone numbers.
Smishing is more or less just fishing for victims and throwing out a big wide net, but smishing refers directly to SMS text messaging, which is typically what you and I would text message through.
Some people we spoke with today knew about the traffic ticket scam, while others had no clue.
I get 5 to 6 texts or calls per day on my phone with different types of scams.
It's full of scammers right now, but that one, no, I didn't hear about that one yet.
The Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre is aware of the fairly new traffic ticket scam.
We know that fraudsters are constantly evolving. They follow headlines and they copy the look and tone of real agencies, right?
The Edmonton Police Service says $48.1 million was lost to scams in 2024. The Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre says $645 million was lost countrywide in 2024. With AI technology on the rise, police say fraud will be on the rise too.
That means it's going to get used more and more in scams that people are going to get across their phones or their cell phone.
The best way you can protect yourself from this type of fraud is by never clicking on a link from an unrecognized number. Merrick Takash, CTV News, Edmonton.
Friday can't come soon enough for the Toronto Blue Jays and their fans. That's when the team takes on the defending champion LA Dodgers. But how do these two teams stack up? CTV's Heather Wright looks at the numbers.
Tinseltown versus Hogtown. Hollywood versus, well, Hollywood North. The World Series heads to Toronto this week. 2 teams, 2 cities, but only one champion.
Nervous, a little bit of an upset tummy, but I think we can do it.
I think the Blue Jays have more spirit. They play like the team is even all the way down from 1 to 9, and they play like a team.
As they were at the start of the season, the Dodgers are the betting favorites to win their second World Series title in as many years.
She's gone!
Well, the Blue Jays have gone from worst to first, finishing dead last in the American League in 2024 to winning it all this year.
I think that it's anybody's game, and I think the Jays are the underdogs, and the underdogs always come out.
The LA Dodgers have won 8 World Series in their history compared to 2 for the Toronto Blue Jays. And when it comes to payroll, both teams may be big spenders, but LA has doled out far more cash for stars like Shohei Ohtani and Mookie Betts.
The Dodgers' payroll is closer to $350 million, whereas the Blue Jays is about $250. So $100 million. That's a huge gap, right? That's another Shohei Ohtani or 2, right? That they can afford with that difference.
And while the Dodgers took the season series against the Blue Jays 2-1, the Jays have the better regular season record and have earned home field advantage because of it, which at least one statistician says gives the Jays a slight edge.
When I did a simple statistical model and just tried to put it all together, I'm currently estimating Toronto with a 52.46% chance of winning the World Series.
At the end of the day, though, there really is only one number that matters, and that is 4. 4 games to win the World Series. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
After the break, head and shoulders above the competition. How a young hockey player is taking the game to new heights.
I'm big, so I'm have to use it.
Thursday on your morning, Halloween safety, avoiding trick-or-treating pitfalls, staying allergy safe, and the risk of watching scary movies when you're too young.
Your Morning Edmonton, weekdays.
Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Welcome back. 15 degrees for a daytime high today, 6 degrees warmer than average. Was a frosty start to the day, though. -4 early this morning. You see similar temperatures tomorrow, about 16 for a daytime high. The change is going to be in the morning. We'll be about +4 to start the day. We've got some clouds to go through overnight tonight and early tomorrow morning. A narrow band of showers potentially north of the city. There is a slight risk, 3 or 4 in the morning. You might see a couple sprinkles in and around the Edmonton area. Through the daytime hours, though, by 7 a.m., that cloud covers off to the northeast of us. We'll be mainly sunny right through the day. And then sunshine as well for Friday. Watch this next system, though, starting to slide its way in from the southwest. That'll produce some showers, western parts of the province, areas just north of Edmonton. There is a slight chance you may see a shower in Edmonton, especially early in the morning on Saturday. I think by the afternoon hours, that rain and cloud cover moves off to the northeast. We'll see some sunny breaks. Sunday has a much better chance at seeing some rain. 3 degrees in Fort McMurray tomorrow morning. Should be around 0 in Grand Prairie. We'll stay 3 or 4 degrees above 0 here in the city. Somewhere in the 11, 13 degree range in northeastern Alberta. 14s for Peace River, Grand Prairie, and Whitecourt. As you move further south, some more mid-teens for Red Deer, Coronation. Low to mid-teens in Lloydminster. And cooler in Jasper, 15 degrees today. A little closer to 10 tomorrow afternoon. 16 or 17, light wind and sunshine here in the city. 18 degrees with mainly sunny skies on Friday. Could even get to 19 or 20. We'll see how things play out. About 12 Saturday with a mix of sun and cloud. That slight chance of a shower, especially early in the day. And then cloudy. Good chance some showers on Sunday, maybe even late in the day, a little bit of wet snow mixed in. 7 degrees on Sunday and still in that 6 or 7 degree range for highs Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday, a little bit of a bump towards the end of next week as we head into Halloween, about 9 or 10 degrees on Halloween. Daytime highs a lot closer to average, though, next week, somewhere in the 5 to 10 degree range. For the next 2 days, though, sunny and way above average. That is your forecast.
A teen hockey player is towering over his teammates at 7 feet tall. He's one of the tallest hockey players in the world and hopes to reach new heights with his new team. CTV's Colton Weens has the story.
At first glance, Alexander Karmanov looks like an average hockey player, but compare him to everyone else on the ice, and the difference stands out.
How tall are you?
7 feet.
Listed at 7 feet tall, 278 pounds, the 17-year-old is considered the tallest active player in the world, according to online hockey database Elite Prospects.
He obviously protects the net as this big body, but then he also knows, when to take a shot. And speak on his shot, obviously it's definitely the hardest shot that I've ever seen.
Now, when you stand 3 inches taller than the tallest NHL players of all time, finding the proper equipment can be a challenge, needing a custom jersey and extended sticks.
I think it was 6 inches added to the torso and 7 inches added to the sleeves, I believe. Seems just did a really good job making sure that it all matched up, though.
Couldn't get it out, though. Karmanov kept it alive. Now to the circle. Karmanov scores!
Size and skill, that's standing out in the Greater Ontario Hockey League. Karmanov has 1 goal and 3 assists in 6 games so far this season.
Mulholland quickly across to Karmanov. Shot so heavy, he knocked the defender's stick out of his hand.
Karmanov was drafted by the Brantford Bulldogs as well as the Fargo Force of the USHL and is committed to play for Penn State in the NCAA. Born in Moldova, Karmanov says while hockey may not have been the most popular sport, he fell in love with it early in life.
Because I like hockey, so I chose in my childhood this sport, and I like speed. I like it's drive, and it's fun.
And at just 17, starting his junior career in Canada, there's lots of time for his game and for him to grow.
I'm big, so have to use it.
Colton Weens, CTV News, Brantford.
Oh, glad I'm not playing against that kid. All right, folks, that's all from us on this Wednesday. Thanks for wrapping up your day with us. We'll see you back here, same time, same place tomorrow. Until then, take care and goodbye for now.